Morning!
Morning, Gary.
So, today we're going to chop back some sweet peas.
It's about time.
Yeah, about time, because they were starting to grab the shelf up above them. And also we're going to give you a follow-up on the compost trial.
Ooh, the excitement builds.
Yeah, could be interesting. So could some of the comments from Gary.
I'm shocked.
Yep, I know. Just outside the back door of the workshop, 2 degrees, which actually is pleasant considering the temperatures we've been having. Been hitting close to minus 20 quite a few nights, and sort of minus 15. So yeah, it's pretty nippy. Fair bit of snow. We had probably 1.5 inches of ice pellets the other night. That makes it interesting, not as fluffy. And then obviously side of the polytunnel, the top is actually clear, which is nice. It did warm up a touch yesterday, but as you can see there's a whole bunch of snow up the sides. I may not shovel a bit. We'll have to wait and see. If we get a bit of sun today, some of that will melt back. And then on the other side, I did shovel a little bit yesterday. It was just bunged up, it wouldn't clear.
Having fun yet?
Sorry?
Having fun yet?
Thought I'd done with this stupid job when we left the other place.
Oh, you decided to put up another greenhouse.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be this deep of snow already. This is solid ice. Yep, got a hole in it already.
Gary just put his snow shovel through it.
Yep. Let a bit of sunshine in, warm it up a bit, melt some snow off.
Get snow in your snow boots.
Yeah, pull my snow boots up. But this side's actually cleared quite nicely, so I won't do any other clearing on here. And as I say, when it warms up inside, it tends to melt it back a little bit, takes a little bit of the pressure off the poly. And as you can see, winter wonderland, lots of snow, coat frames tucked away nicely for the winter. So yeah, so let's get inside and we'll get some more of this fleece off. I did take some off yesterday and got the fans running, or one of the fans running anyway. But this side, the polyanthus and stuff, there's a fair bit of damp and mold appearing in here. And again, it's because I have it fleeced, and I have it fleeced just to stop things freezing up. I mean, there's some strawberries there, you can see a little bit of mold on them. Nothing too bad, but enough that I'd like to just try and dry some of this stuff off. There's a primula there with a little bit of mold on it. Again, it's not going to do long-term damage as long as I can dry things out a little bit. Hepatica seed, Echinopsis seed. Again, it's just looking really damp, but that's not going to hurt them. Damp is definitely not going to hurt these guys. And then on the bench, even on the bench, which is just about not freezing, which is nice. The hepatica aren't looking bad. They have actually dried off a little bit on the top, which obviously helps. So I've not got a lot of mold in here, and this is staying just around freezing even when we hit minus 20 outside. No heat in here at all on this side. And then there are some really nice flower buds appearing, and then there's a whole bunch on there. So yeah, so they're not looking bad. A few bulbs poking through, but everything's pretty slow at the moment, as you can imagine with the temperatures we've been getting. The 2 fans running at the moment just to try and get a bit of air movement in here. New coat frame going to be going in here, so I'll be featuring that a little bit later. And then around the corner, haven't unfleeced everything on the floor yet. Forget-me-nots, foxgloves, few Albrecia, ready for pricking out, but I don't. It's just too cold at the moment. As soon as it warms a touch, and I think we're going to be heading for a little bit warmer weather, I will. These are just some violas here. A little bit of mold on these guys. Again, it's not really going to hurt as long as I can dry it out. And then up through cyclamen, They've picked up a little bit. They're not freezing. It's the light. I got two or three little grow lights in here, which are just a little bit of extra heat. They do give off a certain amount. And then last night, I mean, the temperature in here, where are we to? I don't know if you can see that. Let me lift it up. Pop it from there. So, got down to 2 last night, and at the moment it's 7, and it's only 2 outside. So there is a difference. And again, these things are looking a little bit better. I took all the fleece off yesterday, so they had a full day of actual daylight, and I didn't fleece last night. So there's some nice flower buds coming along, but they really could do with a bit of sunshine. I think everything could do with a bit of sunshine. Just turn around, there's more flower buds coming on there. And then in here we have cyclamen seed, which was sown a month, 6 weeks ago. That won't be doing anything. Some hellebore seedlings that are just coming through, some nice doubles from seed, so we'll see what they give us. Some Narcissus cyclamenus. So yeah, so that's pretty well it. Oh, and then at the very top here we have our Jack maples. I mean, what can you say? They're dormant, they're not doing anything. Rhododendrons are looking a little curled due to the cold, but that will now, they'll come out a little bit further now. I am having problems at this end with the water coming in. I knew I would, and I never had a chance to drain it and get any drains in before the winter arrived, because it arrived so damn early. So I have to be wary of that. We'll have to wait and see. We've got 10 mil of rain coming tomorrow, so I've got to take the fleece up. Obviously, all the fleece has to come off the floor, but I may try and elevate these Jack maples onto some trays. You can see I did it with a few of the conifers, so I might just elevate everything up off the floor just to make sure it's not sat in water. And even if it did flood, even if it does, it soon disappears and dries out again. So yeah, so that's pretty well where I am in here at the moment. So I'm going to put you down, and then I'm going to unfleece this. Alright, so let's see what we've got here. Now these have been fleeced now for, I don't know, they've probably been covered almost now for 3 weeks. Just have not had the chance to take it off. So I would imagine some of the stuff at the back will probably be frozen. But it's better frozen and kept frozen rather than letting it freeze and thaw. And the fleece, once it's frozen, will obviously stop them from thawing out. I'll pull that off and leave that one for a minute. Let's do this big one. Now the big one, everything underneath is cut back, and it's a mix: ferns, pulmonaria, brunnera, hellebores, trollius, epimediums, all woodland plants. A little bit of mold, not too bad. Just finding the path. This now I'm going to go for. I'll give it 2 days. If the grass is cracked. Let's see who's taking a risk. Leaving anything. Left side. Anything out, I will cover it. So now that's off. I'll get off the floor somewhere. I'll put it straight. Right, let's see what we've got. So we'll start at the back. There's a 1 gallon pot there. That's frozen, but not all the way down. These are not frozen at all. I'll take a look here. Nothing frozen, nothing frozen. No frost in that at all. The first 2 rows are frozen to about they're frozen to about 2 inch, an inch and a half down, I would say. Here's one. I'll show you this one. This is a Primula denticulata. Now we're January. We've had minus 20 for several nights, and then you can see so it's frozen. This is frozen to here. This is not frozen, and you can see, look at the active, even now, active root system on that. And then obviously the bud is just, they're swelling already. And there we have the benefits. That's why I use fleece. This top bit frozen, doesn't matter. That's really not where the roots are. The roots are right down here. There's a really good example. Foam board. Talked about it many times, so I thought I'd just give you a bit of a close-up on what it is. It's nothing very special. So it is a hard outer vinyl plastic. I don't know, plastic, I guess. And then in between it's got blown in insulation, about 1.5 inches thick. And as I've said so many times in previous videos, for me, they work really well. I mean, the smaller one is, the lower one here is for the polyanthus, primroses and hepatica. So yeah, so I'm going to show you just quickly how I put one together. And these are only temporary. These are not meant to be permanent. These are just for the winter months for me, just so that it gives me a little bit more space. Otherwise, I'd just be having growing stuff on the floor. Some things don't like being on the floor. Sweet peas are going to be going in here. So again, we'll show you that. But again, I'm going to put you back on the stand and show you how I build this thing. So there we have it. Like I said, it's really straightforward. 80 inches wide. I think I made this one about 44 inches deep front to back. So sweet peas are going in here. And then I'm going to actually sow some more seed that is going in here. And yeah, this will get filled up really quick. What? Sweet peas?
Again?
Yeah, again, sweet peas. They're grown rather too well, and as I said, I can't slow them up in here. It's still a little too warm, and the lights aren't bad, but the weather's warmed up, so they're going outside. Anyway, cutting back. Some of these are already breaking already. You can see the new shoots coming. This is what we want. We want these new shoots coming from the base. Oh, there's a good example there. There's one there, one there. So yeah, this is what we're after. These nice new shoots, and they will be really much stronger and produce much better flowers. So all I'm going to do with the old scissors is give them the chop, and it's quite simple. Again, this one, usually 2 pairs of leaves, 1, 2, but because I can see this breaking below, and there's another one there with the label, normally 2 pairs, 1, 2 there, but because I can see that, I'm going to cut them lower. Same with the next one over. Got some new shoots.
And does it matter where you cut between the 2 sets of leaves?
Makes no odds.
Not with sweet peas.
No, we're not getting dieback or anything like that to worry about. It's not like pruning roses and stuff where you need to cut just above a bud. Just chop them off, basically. Yeah. So we're going from nice big tall leggy plants, which they are, to these. And again, here's another nice one. Look at this one here. You can see look how low it's breaking with a new shoot. Right at the very bottom, and another one there. So I can cut that one off a fair bit lower. Don't need extra leaves or nothing at this stage. And bearing in mind they are now going into a cold frame, it is going to be much, much colder. I don't expect to see any growth on these things now for a while. Hope not, anyway. Now this one doesn't have much. I can see one there right at the very base. Yeah, it's not easy to see, is it? So there's one right down there. There's a bud there, and I'm assuming there's going to be another bud there. But because I'm not sure, I'll cut that one a little taller. This one's already got 2 breaking, and this one's already got 2, and I'll cut it there. So again, don't be too fussy. Just get these things cut off, ready to move back. Now, I don't imagine here in Ontario many people will go to this extreme for their sweet peas. But believe you me, when you see the results we get, there may be a few people change their mind in future. So there we go. So that's that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 varieties in there. So let's take these on out into the cold frame. Already showed you that, but we'll pop them out in the cold frame, and that's where they're going to be staying. So cold frame I showed you a bit earlier. I'm going to leave these in trays. They're not going to stay in trays, but just for now I'm going to leave them into trays. I'm going to keep them at this right hand end of the frame because I know it will be a little warmer. But I'm going to find some other stuff that I can put at the back. Probably some seed actually when I sow some more seed. So yeah, they're just, like I said, sitting here. They'll be fine. I have put some extra foam board around the edges of this one. Got it outside. I'm storing it outside. I might as well bring it inside. And then on the back side, I got an extra piece as well. So it'll keep it a bit better, a bit warmer. And then I'm going to obviously fleece it as well. And keep this just above freezing. So yeah, that's the next part 2 or 3 of the sweet pea journey. They don't need water at this stage. I gave them a good soak day before yesterday, so I'm not going to be watering them. And as I say, they're not going to be growing, so they're not going to be drying out much in here. There is a little bit of fertilizer in the mix initially, so that'll keep them going as well. But as soon as I start to see them making more growth when it warms up, at that point I will start giving them more water, and chances are I might even liquid feed them. Take 3, 4, 5, I don't know which one it is. Right, compost trial. It's definitely been a bit of an eye-opener. We're going to show you them one at a time if we can, best we can, and then we'll show you the whole lot. So, premium, Jiffy, seed starting. Gave it a 1 because it was dusty dry. None of these have been watered. I didn't water anything yesterday because I wanted them all to look the same on the surface. Most of them do. So, not bad. Now, we're not looking at the amount of seed in there. We're looking at what is germinated and the stage of growth that it's at the moment.
Because, I mean, some of the trays were obviously, you can't regulate how much seed is going into each tray. So some trays have a lot of seed in and others not quite so much.
Yeah, and then some of them had a lot of the bigger seed so I mean we've got lettuce here, we've got a bit of pak choy. There's actually odd spinach in 1 or 2. The others may not have that. We're looking at the maturity of the plants that have germinated. Everything germinated to a degree. And I would expect that. I mean, I could throw it on the gravel driveway and it would germinate with the right conditions. So everything's germinated. So this is the Jiffy seed starter. Germination, not bad. This has got damp. Some of these seedlings have damped off. And I mean, here's a prime example here. This was really dry when I opened the bag originally. This is quite dry. Bearing in mind, this was only 1 day without water. I didn't water it yesterday. So what's happening with this one, and I know that already, is the compost on the surface is drying really quickly because it's really dust-like. So as soon as you see the compost on the surface dry, you're watering it. Actually below, it's quite moist. But you just keep adding water all the time. That's one of the causes of damping off. The plants are not drying out. I'm allowing them to dry out a bit more now. And also for me, every single one of these composts has to be maintained and looked after differently because they all have different structure.
So you don't just look at the dryness on the top and automatically water it.
No,
you need to be picking
I pick it up, see how heavy it feels. I know how heavy this was. Is that good English? Probably not. I know how heavy this was when I watered it, so I try and maintain that. This is quite dry at the moment, but everything is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, they're growing. Damping off is going to be an issue with this compost, and the long-term maintenance of it is going to be an issue as well. Seed starting mix. Next one, Pro Mix Premium Organic Seed Starter. Now, I gave this a 2 initially. I think we need to downgrade that to -2.
Oh, dear.
Germination, you can just about see where they've germinated.
That's poor.
That's really poor. There's no growth in them. The things that have grown are it's quite laughable, actually. So I really don't know what to say. Again, that one's fairly dry. I did not see any damping off with this one, but germination really, really poor. So bear that in mind.
Seed starting mix.
And apparently this one had feed for 3 months and 20% bigger. I think it should be 20% smaller, and someone forgot to put the fertilizer in. The other thing I will mention is all of these bags, before I filled the trays, I shook them. So I shook them up and down and agitated them just to make sure that they were mixed within the bag.
Right.
So that somebody can't come back to me and say, oh, well, you just took the compost off the top and it wasn't mixed properly. They were all thoroughly mixed within the bag.
Right.
The golf green one, I gave that actually gave that a 3. Germination was okay. Damping off is not good. You can see the collapsed seedlings on here. There's several actually.
Yeah.
And the same goes with this one. This one actually is quite heavy still underneath, but the top's drying out. So my initial reaction obviously was to water it. But now I know this now that no, this one needs to dry out. And this is probably the worst damping off of any of them.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, you can see the seedlings here are damping off. That's because the compost wasn't being allowed to dry out. Letting that one dry out a bit more. Then they're growing, but I wouldn't have said they've put on tremendous growth. Mm-hmm. The next one, Miracle Grow. Good germination. The growth is actually pretty good. I would say there was nothing wrong with that. I gave this a 4. And again, you have to realize I have no affiliation to any of these companies. I've never used their compost before. I've seen so many people complaining about Miracle Grow. I don't think there's anything, and it appears to me at this stage, it doesn't appear to be anything wrong with the compost. I think the problem is the way that you maintain it after you've sown the seed. This is a seed starter. I see absolutely, and I mean, you can take a close look on this. I see no signs of damping off at all.
Everything's nice and stocky.
It's nice and stocky, as Julie says. The tray is light because I've allowed them to lighten up. Overwatering is going to be one of the biggest problems for all of these composts. So Miracle Grow, I would still maintain that as a 4. Obviously, I suppose I ought to downgrade these, didn't I, at this stage? Hold on a second. So let's go back and just regrade these. So Jiffy Mix Premium Seed Starter. And actually not bad. So my initial score was a 1. So let's upgrade that to a 3 now. Pro Mix Organic was a 2. Let's give it a -2. Golf Green was a 3. Well, that's got to go back. Oh, hang on, I'll put a line through that, a line through that. Golf Green, that's got to go back to a -1. Miracle Grow 4. I'm going to leave that where it is for now. I'm not going to change that one.
Right.
Next, we have the Pro Mix Premium Potting with all the fancy bits in it.
9 months feed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's done really well. Now, if you remember, the reason I only gave it a 1 because I didn't understand the fertilizer thing.
Which, at this point in time, doesn't come into play with what's happened so far.
No. Germination's good. Initial growth is good. Any damping off? No, I see no damping off at all. Absolutely none. So that actually is doing pretty good at the moment. So I'm going to upgrade that one to a 3 for now, because as Julie says, this is a long term. This is to see how how the plants actually grow over a period of time. Next, we have the Premium Organic Vegetable and Herb Mix. Now, if you remember, this one was a pain in the butt to actually hydrate and get wet in the tray. The plants have actually not grown bad at all. This one again has all the fancy bits in it. So this Pro Mix Organic Vegetable and Herb, again, it's doing pretty good. Seedlings are all very much the same size as the others. This one actually is quite heavy. Now, it would be heavy because it had very little structure. So it's very fine. So again, this one long term, I think you have to be very careful how you water it. But I'm going to upgrade this one. Let's give that one a 3 as well, the same as the other Pro Mix one. Next, we have the Gulf Green African Violet. Now, I didn't like this one because of the fertilizer. If you remember, the fertilizer was spent. It was already breaking up.
Which, again, this would not show the problems
at this stage because the roots aren't down there. The problems are going to arise in a couple of weeks' time. And also, when we do start harvesting, who knows, we may or may not get the regrowth. No dieback, no damping off. So again, I see it dry out on the surface. It's dried out fairly nicely. So I'm going to have to change that one, aren't I? I'm going to give that a 3 as well. So that's good. The next one, which was the one I was really looking forward to, if you remember initially, black gold. Sounds really good.
All the riches of the earth.
Yeah, it's got excellent marketing.
Lovely.
But oh my God.
Oh dear.
What a joke.
Where's the, you can just.
Awful. Germination is there, believe it or not, if you can see them amongst the perlite, which shows up really well. Growth, non-existent.
Very, very slow.
Let me have a look. I can't see. I need magnifying glass to see if there's any damping off. So bloody small. I don't see any. Oh, yes, I do. There is some damping off. You might need a microscope to see it. There's one there that's damped off.
Not too
No,
bad.
damping off is fine.
Yeah.
It's light because, again, I'll let it dry out. I won't take this one outside. It'll blow it in my hands. So that was a 1. This one's going to get now downgraded to a -3.
Right.
It can only go to -5. I won't go any lower than -5. So that's on its way out. And then last but not least, we have my Meadowview one. Germination, good.
Yeah.
No damping off. Bearing in mind, these were all watered at the same time.
Yeah, this looks really good on the
because I know how to look after this compost.
Right.
I know its water requirements. I know how it behaves. All these others, I have no clue how they behave. And I'm having to figure that out as I go along. Every single one's water requirements, regardless what plants you put in there, is different. And it will also differ the minute you take it off the heat. It requires less water. So the Meadowview one, back to this one, similar growth to 2 or 3 of the other good ones. No damping off.
I don't think you sowed as many seeds in this.
No,
one.
it doesn't look like it, does it? No, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're not worried about it. It's a plant. Yeah, nice and stocky. This is heavy compared to all the others. So as an overall, I don't think there's a lot of difference between, I would say, 5 of them at this stage.
That's definitely...
That's definitely in last place. These next 4 are all very, very similar.
Yeah.
Along with the Meadowview one. And I think the first one is just a touch behind those other 4. Nothing much.
Yeah, just a
little bit.
It's not too bad.
So what we're going to do, these are going to go back on the bench. And we're just going to grow them on. One thing I will say is what I'm doing is I'm rotating these around on the lights. So again, so that nobody can say to me, oh, well, that one was in the best position and this one was in the... No, they are all getting rotated. Every other day I move them.
Right.
So they're all getting the same light, but they're getting different positions on the bench. So no favoritism at all. And you have to take my word for it. Because there isn't. Because I want to prove to myself which is good and which is bad.
Yeah.
But I think this has been a really, really useful experiment for myself.
And we're going to keep them going.
Yeah, these now are going to be grown on. And then as soon as Julie can start picking off them, we'll start picking off them. And at that point, then we can reevaluate again. There's no point coming back to these again now for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We want to grow them on. We want to take a picking off them. We'll show you just before we do that. And then at that point, we can then see how the compost they're in maintains the growth over the next, say, 2 months. Now, I would imagine the seed ones will run out fairly quickly. And I would think, if anything, the potting ones should sustain the plants for a little longer. But again, we'll see what happens. So that's that. So if we take a quick walk over to the prop bench, mind your eyes again. I'm just going to turn that light on. So again, this is back to us. Now I use these sticky things.
Which you can get, where do we get these from?
Oh, these just come off of Amazon
again. Yeah.
I always use them. I put them certainly in the propagating bench.
You always get these little gnats.
You get the little gnats, and I'm not worried about it. I mean, I see people get so bent out of shape about fungus gnats and these gnats, and just stick a yellow sticky thing in your pots.
They work really well.
They work really well. The fungus gnats are not going to do any damage.
Salad.
Yeah, salad's looking really nice.
Now, I have taken a picking off of this already. I'm going to do it again today.
Yeah.
And this.
So don't worry about a few fungus gnats. And I have seen a few comments from other sites where people say, oh, you have to sterilize your compost. I have not sterilized compost in almost my whole horticultural growing life. And I reuse pots. I reuse pots all the time, and I do not clean them. I do nothing with them. So I don't know what to say.
Gary, are you having a rant?
Yeah, I'm having a rant because, I mean, it's so unnecessary. There's no need to sterilize your pots. There's no need to sterilize your compost. There's only a couple occasions I would say you need to sterilize. If you're sowing ferns, yes, your compost really ought to be sterilized. I can't think of any other time when you would need to sterilize it. And it's very easy to do. And that's a story for another day. So that's where we are with the germination and potting compost test. And am I catching up with you next time, or am I not saying that?
I don't know. I think you do say goodbye.
I do?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And the other thing is, please tell all your gardening friends about us. Because the more views, the more subscribers we can get, the more content we can put out there for everybody. And I don't mind taking suggestions. If there's something you want to see, something you want to learn about, put it in the comments. If I can work it into a video, I will. I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah, till next time, enjoy your gardening and
Enjoy your gardening. In the snow.
In the snow. And yeah, get your seed growing. Bye.
Goodbye.